Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 9, answers by citing the Lord's version, text 25. Brahmovāca bhagavan sarva-bhūtānām adhyakṣo avasthito guhām veda hi apratiruddhena prajñānena cikīrṣitam. Brahmovāca bhagavan sarva-bhūtānām adhyakṣo vasthito guhām veda hi apratiruddhena prajñānena cikīrṣitam. Bhagavan sarva-bhūtānām adhyakṣo vasthito guhām veda hi apratiruddhena prajñānena cikīrṣitam. Bhagavan sarva-bhūtānām adhyakṣo vasthito guhām veda hi apratiruddhena prajñānena cikīrṣitam. Brahmā uvāca, Lord Brahma said, Bhagavan, O my Lord, sarva-bhūtānām, of all living entities, adhyakṣa, director, avasthitaḥ, situated, guhām, within the heart, veda, no, he, certainly, apratiruddhena, without hindrance, prajñānena, by superintelligence, cikīrṣitam, endeavors. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma said, O Personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the Supreme Director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. Please repeat after me. Lord Brahma said, O Personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the Supreme Director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart as the witness, and as such He is the Supreme Director of sanction. The Director is not the enjoyer of the fruits of action, for without the Lord's sanction no one can enjoy. For example, in a prohibited area, a habituated drunkard puts forward his application to the Director of drinking, and the Director, considering his case, sanctions only a certain amount of liquor for drinking. Similarly, the whole material world is full of many drunkards, in the sense that each and every one of the living entities has something in his mind to enjoy. And everyone desires the fulfillment of his desires very strongly. The Almighty Lord, being very kind to the living entity, as the Father is kind to the Son, fulfills the living entity's desire for his childish satisfaction. With such desires in mind, the living entity does not actually enjoy, but he serves the bodily whims unnecessarily without profit. The drunkard does not derive any profit out of drinking, but because he has become a servant of the drinking habit and does not wish to get out of it, the merciful Lord gives him all facilities to fulfill such desires. The impersonalists recommend that one should become desireless, and others recommend banishing desires altogether. That is impossible. No one can banish desires altogether, because desiring is the living symptom. Without having desires, a living entity would be dead, which he is not. Therefore, living conditions and desire go together. Perfection of desires may be achieved when one desires to serve the Lord, and the Lord also desires that every living entity banish all personal desires and cooperate with his desires. That is the last instruction of the Bhagavad Gita. Brahmaji agreed to this proposal, and therefore he is given the responsible post of creating generations in the vacant universe. Oneness with the Lord therefore consists of dovetailing one's desires with the desires of the Supreme Lord. That makes for the perfection of all desires. The Lord, as the Supersoul in the heart of every living being, knows what is in the mind of each living entity, and no one can do anything without the knowledge of the Lord within. But by his superior intelligence, the Lord gives everyone the chance to fulfill his desires to the fullest extent, and the resultant reaction is also awarded by the Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatang Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Bancha Kalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Brahmovāca bhagavan sarva-bhūtānām adhyakṣo vasthito guhām veda hi apratiruddhena prajñānena cikīrṣitam. Lord Brahma said, O Personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. So Brahma was instructed by the Lord to perform penance. That instruction also came in a very unusual way. The waves on the Garbha ocean were splashing against each other, creating a sound, tapaha, tapaha. And just the sound actually inspired Brahma from within. That inspiration from within led Brahma, or became Brahma aware, made Brahma aware of the need of performing penance. Brahma considered that this was the inspiration, this was the instruction given by the Lord, so he began to perform penance. And as a result of that penance, Brahma saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face. And the Lord expressed his delight in Brahma's submissive attitude, Brahma's obedience. And he told Brahma that, Brahma, because you have followed my instructions, you abided by my instructions, and you performed tapaha, penance, you have been able to see me in my abode, face to face. And then in last two verses, Narayan, Krishna, pointed out, I'll just read them again. I wish you good luck, O Brahma. You may ask from me, the giver of all benediction, all that you may desire. You may know that the ultimate benediction as a result of all penance is to see me by realization. And then, the last verse is he's saying, I created this cosmos by such penance. I maintain it by the same energy, and I withdraw it all by the same energy. Therefore, potential power is penance only. So he pointed out, Srijami tapasai vedang, grasami tapasa punaha, Vibharmi tapasa visham, virjang me dustaran tapaha. This tapaha, the penance, is the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the internal potency of the Lord, which means the internal potency of the Lord is devotional service. So Prabhupada pointed out in the purport that this internal potency is actually, this tapa is devotional service. The actual tapa is devotional service. What is tapaha? What is penance? What is austerity? What is the real austerity? To inflict pain to the body? No. That is a foolish concept, a misconception of austerity. Austerity does not mean to inflict unnecessary pain to the body. Austerity actually means to withdraw the senses from material nature and project it onto Krishna. Our consciousness now in the material is in our material condition is running towards the objects of the senses. As Krishna pointed out in Bhagavad Gita, dhayate vishayan punsha. Dhayate Vishayan Pungsha. The senses are running towards the objects of the senses, Vishaya. And as a result of that, Sangasteshu Pajayate. We become attached to the objects of the senses. Then Sangat Sanjayate Kama. As a result of that attachment, we develop a desire to enjoy those objects of senses. Kam, lust. And when the lust is unfulfilled, Kamat Krodha Pajayate. One becomes angry. And Krodhat Bhavati Sanmoha. As a result of anger, one becomes bewildered. And Sanmohat Smriti Vibhrama. As a result of that bewilderment, one loses his memory. And Smriti Bhrangshat Buddhi Nasha. Due to the loss of memory, he loses his intelligence. And Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. As a result of losing his intelligence, he is doomed. So just one little mistake of looking towards the material direction caused us such a undesirable, disastrous situation. It's just one little mistake, Dhayate Vishayan Pungsha, because we projected our consciousness towards the material direction. But now, this condition is causing us distress, suffering. So what to do? What is the means, what is the way to be free from this suffering condition? The way is to project our consciousness back to Krishna. So that is what Krishna is pointing out here. The tapo actually means to project our consciousness back to Krishna. Now in order to do that, what we have to do? We have to withdraw our consciousness from matter, the objects of the senses, and project it. And how to project it? If we allow our senses to be projected externally, it will be projected towards the material direction. Because the external is the material nature. So what is the first consideration of tapa? As Brahma considered, to withdraw the consciousness and project it internally, where Krishna is, in the heart. Brahma did that and Krishna helped. Krishna didn't come and stand in front of Brahma straight away. Initially, Krishna was inspiring Brahma from within. Tene brahmarida adi kavaye muhyanti jatsuraya. The first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is pointing that out. Tene brahmarida, he inspired Brahma from within his heart and imparted the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge, revealed the knowledge to Brahma. The knowledge that otherwise bewilders the most exalted personalities, even the demigods. Muhyanti jat suraya. Muhyanti means bewilders and suraya means demigods. Even the demigods are bewildered about this subject matter. And he revealed that knowledge in the heart, from within the heart of Brahma. And how did he do that? It's all a matter of inspiration and becoming properly tuned into that inspiration. This process is actually the process of meditation. And the meditation is meditation on the mantras. Meditation is not just some sort of artificial gymnastics of mind. Meditation is projecting the consciousness onto the mantra. These mantras are the Gayatri. Generally all the Gayatris have one aspect, that word is prachodayat, which means inspired. Prachodayat. inspired from within. Like it occurred to Brahma, yeah, this is what the Lord wants me to do. And Krishna accepted that. Narayan told Brahma, yes, because you have abided by my instruction. Apparently it was just the sound of the waves splashing against each other. A sound has been created, tapaha. But that tapa, this word tapaha inspired Brahma. Oh, this is what I have to do. Like in that, for that matter, we can consider Brahma was the first created being. He was the only one. There was nobody else to guide him. At least we are fortunate that we come across ISKCON devotees and get all the explanations in a very detailed way. Then Prabhupada's books are there, we can read and we can intellectually conceive the ideas, and then we carry on practicing the process. But that was not the case with Brahma. Brahma's thing was just alone. But the first inspiration actually came from within. The Lord in the heart was inspiring Brahma. Okay, Brahma, do this. He created that sound tapaha, and it came to Brahma's mind with certain understanding. And Brahma pursued that inspiration. Oh, this is what I must do. Like by trying to go external, I came to a dead end. I can't find the end of this. I can't go beyond that. So Brahma realized by external endeavor I'll not be able to find out who I am, where I came from, and what I am supposed to do. These three questions, the answers to these three questions we'll never find by our external endeavors. Bayo rathapi manasa muni pungavanam. One may travel with the speed of the mind for millions of years, but still will not be able to come to this understanding. Will not be able to find out who we are, where we came from, and what are we supposed to do. But this can be very easily understood if we listen to the right person. Okay, we are, as I was saying, like we are fortunate to come across somebody who knows the answers. But with Brahma that was not the case. He was just the first person. He was all by himself. But still the Lord inspired him from within. And then, as a result of that, Brahma saw the Lord face to face. And the Lord admitted also, yes, Brahma, because you have followed my instructions with sincerity and faith, you have been rewarded with the ultimate achievement of life. And what is the ultimate achievement of life? The ultimate achievement of life has been described here, is to see me by realization. The ultimate, you may know that the ultimate benediction as a result of all penances is to see me by realization. Not by some mental speculation or imagination, but realization. In reality. Seeing, Brahma was sitting on the lotus, but he was transported to Vaikuntha. His body was situated on the lotus, but where was he? He was in Vaikuntha. And he was seeing the Lord, he was communicating with the Lord. And the Lord also told him, it's very nice that you came here. It's because of your penance that you could come here. So Brahma was transported. So in this way we can see, in whatever condition our body may be, our soul is able to travel to any distance. And then Brahma is rewarded by the Lord in a most wonderful way. That he was transported. And now Brahma is actually telling the Supreme Personality of Godhead that you are the super soul of every living entity. So you know everything. And so that actually makes one point very clear. And that point is that because you knew how eager I was to find you, that's why you inspired me from within. Because you know what was going on in my mind. The Lord knows everyone's heart. And when somebody becomes sincere about spiritual life, He actually makes all the arrangement for him to come to the right place, come across the right person, find the right process, and practice that process to follow the ultimate goal of life and achieve the ultimate goal of life. So it's not that we come to spiritual life just by chance or accident. No. It is due to one's sincere desire that the Lord makes the arrangement. That's what Prabhupada used to say. Don't ever think that it's because of your preaching people are joining the movement. It is Krishna who is actually inspiring them. On your part, yes, you do your duty. Go out and preach. Give them Krishna consciousness. But do not become attached to the result. The result is up to Krishna. Some people will accept, some will not accept. Sometimes we see that some people seem to be so ready. They are so receptive, but they don't join. But there are some people, those who seem to be completely averse to Krishna consciousness, offensive to Krishna consciousness, and they end up joining. Who is coughing? Jamuna? Yeah. So drink some water. Give her some water. So I remember when I first met Srila Prabhupada in Allahabad, Kumbh Mela. Prabhupada was giving darshan, and there was one young Bengali sadhu. He had beard and all. He was from Bharat Sevashram Sangha. They wear white, they don't wear saffron. And there, this person was asking Srila Prabhupada that what Prabhupada is doing. He was asking Prabhupada what Prabhupada was doing for people. Because Bharat Sevashram Sangha is a welfare. They're just welfare activities. Whenever there's an earthquake or flood, they're there. They're the first ones to go and So this person asked the question in Bengali, asked the question to Srila Prabhupada in Bengali, that what are you doing for people? But Prabhupada became very angry and he started to blast him. I don't distinctly remember what Prabhupada said, but all I remember is that Prabhupada was very angry and Prabhupada was speaking in Hindi. He was speaking in Bengali and Prabhupada was smashing him in Hindi. And at one point he asked, I'm asking you in Bengali, why are you answering in Hindi? Then Prabhupada said, Bengali or Hindi, it doesn't matter. The question is whether you understand what I'm saying. And Prabhupada was so heavy, and there must have been 500-600 people in Prabhupada's tent at that time. And I was thinking that this person will never join ISKCON. Because, early days, our main concern was how to make devotees. Our main consideration was just somehow or other get people to join ISKCON. And so that's the thought that came to my mind, that this person will never become a devotee. But then, after a year or so, must have been about a year and a half, one day I saw that person in Mayapur. He joined. There's no way of knowing who will join and who will not. And this person apparently was quite arrogant and challenging. And anyway, I don't want to tell the name of that devotee. But only thing is that I was thinking that it's so unfortunate that that person could have taken initiation from Srila Prabhupada if he joined at that time. Prabhupada was present, he could have received Prabhupada's mercy, but he was deprived of that good fortune. But good that he at least joined the movement. He joined the movement. And one day I told him, and he was amazed that I remembered him. He thought no one knew about that incident. So, how does Krishna inspire? Why does Krishna inspire? And to whom does Krishna inspire? The answer is very simple. Those who are sincere in heart, being situated in the hearts of that living entity, Krishna knows what he wants and he fulfills his desire. And Prabhupada, although in this purport Prabhupada is pointing out, taking the cue from Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is the upadrashta and anumanta. Krishna is the witness in the heart as the super soul what Krishna is doing. Krishna is watching every living entity's every single action. It's inconceivable for us how Krishna does it. There are not only one or two, or few hundred or few thousand living entities. There are innumerable living entities. And Krishna is actually watching every single action of every single living entity. Being situated in everyone's heart, Krishna is able to do that. From our point of view, from our perspective, it's inconceivable. We can't imagine how it can be possible by anyone, for anyone. But for Krishna it's possible. Krishna knows everybody's heart. Not only everybody's heart, Krishna knows every single action that anybody has ever performed. And then Krishna is rewarding him accordingly. Anumanta. He is sanctioning. And in this respect, Prabhupada is giving a very wonderful example that there is the area where there is prohibition. Now, prohibition means where alcohol is not allowed. Actually, there was at one time America also had prohibition. And in those areas, if someone is an addict, an alcohol addict, then the government authorities give him the approval. Okay, you can have one peg of whiskey every day. So similarly, Krishna is sanctioning being situated in our heart. We are appealing to Krishna. Krishna, give me this, give me that. And Krishna says, okay, just this much. Right? Not unlimited amount. Krishna is actually restricting because he knows what is to what extent we can be given certain license. And accordingly, Krishna is giving us the sanctioning. Our tendency to enjoy the material nature. In this material nature, every living entity wants to enjoy. And Krishna is actually sanctioning. There is a very stringent law in this respect also. It's not that we can just ask Krishna, give me this, and Krishna will give it to us. What is the consideration for allotment of what we should get and should not get is our piety. Punya. You have piety, okay, you can fulfill your desire. But as we fulfill our desires, our piety gets exhausted. If you have 10 units of piety, now you've finished up 1 unit. You're left with 9 units of piety. Then 8 units, 7 units. This way, we keep on exhausting our piety. So that's why religious people, pious people, they want to acquire piety. And they don't want to commit sin. Because they know that sinful activities will give us negative result, and positive activities, the pieties, will give us positive results. So they will not commit sinful activities, but they will always try to acquire piety by committing pious activities. So sometimes we see that somebody has so many facilities, whereas somebody else doesn't have any facility whatsoever, although they are working hard. Sometimes we see some people are working so hard, but they are so poverty-stricken. But some people, they don't do anything, but they have such opulence. Like for example, sometimes we see that someone, just by his birth, he gets such a wonderful opportunity. Somebody is born as a billionaire's son. Just by being born as a billionaire's son, he inherits his billions without doing anything. Now why does it happen? Why does it happen? Why someone is born as a billionaire's son and why someone is born as a beggar's son? The answer is the piety and sinful reactions. If someone has a lot of piety, he gets a good birth. Shri Aishwarya, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shri Bhir. These are the 4 results of pious activities. Janma, born in an exalted family. Aishwarya, opulence. Shruta, knowledge, education. And Shri Bhi, beauty. Physical beauty, birth in high family, opulence and education. These are the results of our pious activities. And the impious activities or sinful activities will generate opposite results. Birth in poverty-stricken, degraded families, birth or rather being poverty-stricken throughout his life, being stupid, not having any education, dull. No matter how much they struggle, still they cannot remember, and they've always failed in the exams. And having deformity or ugly features. So these are the results of sinful activities. So Krishna is the Upadrashta and Anumanta. He is sanctioning. In one hand, he is watching every single activity that we are performing, and at the same time, he is also seeing which of our desires can be fulfilled and which are not. He is sanctioning. But that is a general consideration, but there is another consideration. That consideration is, as soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, his sinful activities are immediately wiped out. No more sinful activities. His life becomes completely auspicious. Didn't Krishna give that assurance at the end of Bhagavad Gita? Aham tvam sarva-papebhyo. Sarva-papebhyo. From all your sinful reactions, doesn't matter how sinful you have been. If you surrender unto me, all your sinful reactions will be wiped out. Moksha ishami masucha. So, in one hand, uninformed people are so much concerned about piety and sin. And they are always trying to acquire piety. But here is a most wonderful and most easy and sublime way of getting rid of all our sinful activities and making our life completely auspicious. The consideration is just surrender unto Krishna. And then Prabhupada pointed out, like although Krishna is watching all our activities, Anumanta and Upadrashta, and Krishna is only sanctioning whatever we can enjoy. But the real purpose of Krishna's being in our heart is not that. Not the Upadrashta and Anumanta. Krishna has many other agents to do that. The sun and moon, they're two eyes of Krishna. They're watching all our activities. Krishna doesn't have to stay in our hearts and go with us wherever we go. No, Krishna doesn't have to do that. Just to watch our activities and sanction. But the main reason why Krishna is in our hearts is Krishna simply waiting. When we are going to turn our face towards Him, He is just waiting for that point. And the moment we do that, we turn our face towards Him, Krishna begins to dance in ecstasy. Because that is what He is waiting for. Krishna is actually Krishna is going with us wherever we go, simply to wait for that moment, simply to find out when we are going to turn our face towards Him. And when we do that, Krishna being situated in our heart, He knows, He registers that, and He responds accordingly. He says, okay, fine. Now you desire to come back to me? Okay, come with me. And Krishna makes all the arrangements. In this respect, we can consider Krishna's situation as a super soul is something like the child, the son, little boy, is playing in the field with his friends. And the father is just sitting on the bench watching him, what he is doing. And the son completely forgot about the father. He is so absorbed with playing with his friends that he completely forgot that his father is there. But then it becomes dark, everybody else leaves, and then he calls out to the father, "Daddy, Daddy, where are you?" And then the father comes and picks him up and says, "Come, let's go home." That is how Krishna is situated in our heart as a super soul. He's simply waiting. When are you going to stop playing this? When are you going to stop playing these useless games in this material, the field of material nature? And call out to him, "Krishna, Krishna, where are you?" Just one call to Krishna, Krishna will inspire Krishna to come and pick us up and say, come, let's go. And that's why Prabhupada used to say, if we take one step towards Krishna, Krishna will take 100 steps, 1,000 steps, billion steps to come forward and pick us up. All we have to do is just take one step towards Krishna. All we have to do with all sincerity, we have to tell Krishna, "Krishna, please deliver me. Please take me away from this miserable material condition." And that appeal to Krishna is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. And that prayer actually, this mantra, what does this Mahamantra mean? O all attractive Supreme Personality of Godhead, please deliver me from this miserable material existence and allow me to become engaged in your loving devotional service. Please allow me to become engaged in your loving devotional service. And that's why Krishna is there in our hearts as the super soul. Also in this respect, Prabhupada made another point. that as long as we are materially motivated, as long as we are conditioned in this by the illusory energy of the Lord, Krishna is there as a super soul. What is the difference between Bhagavan and Paramatma? What is the difference between Supreme Personality of Godhead and the super soul?
Super soul is beforehand and Supreme Godhead.
Huh? What's that?
Super soul is an analysis and beforehand and then.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Yes.
Super soul is only immaterial.
Yes, okay. Okay, yes, Kokila.
Paramatma is the partial realization and Bhagavan is the complete.
Yes, very good. Very good. Yes, Shraddha.
Paramatma take care of the material person, but Bhagavan himself take care of the devotees.
Okay, good. All the answers are very good. Yes, super soul, as super soul, Krishna is not active. Krishna is just standing there watching. But when we become involved in rendering devotional service to Krishna, then Krishna cannot remain inactive as a super soul. Then he becomes active to reciprocate that love of the devotee. So super soul then becomes active, and that active aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's the difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and super soul. Super soul is the static witness, and Supreme Personality of Godhead is the dynamic lover. That's the difference. When we love him, he can't remain inert. He can't remain static. He becomes ecstatic. So yes, Krishna is there in our hearts. He's simply waiting. When we're going to love him. And when we do, then Krishna becomes so happy. Then Krishna becomes ecstatic. Not only we become ecstatic, Krishna becomes ecstatic. And in his ecstasy, he begins to dance. The Natavara, the supreme dancer. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question or comment? Okay, no question. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much for coming to and so many good revelations. It's so honored to hear. I mentioned about the redirecting our desires, redirecting our material conditioning desires towards Krishna so that they become into a self-realization soul. When we talk of the three types of karma, maybe karma versus akarma, most of our understanders talk about the karma, do good deeds, make everybody happy, don't do bad deeds. But then you get a positive reaction of that, and eventually you have to come back and experience the positive reaction.
Right.
As opposed to trying to do everything in please Krishna and service of Krishna. And trying to achieve them of that, you don't have to come back to this miserable material world. In daily practical activities, the mind is so unfortunate that it can't differentiate often between sukarma and karma. I just want to have some guidance from you as to every little activity that we do, how can we do akarma as opposed to sukarma? So we can differentiate that we will do vikarma, or at least those two become sometimes become a bit hazy. And you always wonder, am I still doing sukarma, so I still have to come back and get reaction.
Yeah. So ultimate consideration in that respect actually is whether it's for Krishna or whether it's for our sake or for our extended self. Individually us or our family or our nation or so forth. But that's all extended selfishness. So whether it's a selfish act or Krishna conscious act. So these are the ultimate two considerations. And then out of the selfish act, there are two considerations. The actions that will lead us to suffering and actions that will lead us to enjoyment, piety. And in between there's a marginal consideration, no action, but which is not possible. A living entity is alive, so how can it be inactive? So non-action is not possible. So what is actually the ultimate desirable act is to act for Krishna, for Krishna's pleasure. And that is the safest and simplest course to take, which you are doing. Thank you. Yes?
Prabhupada is saying that Dhyani will Dhyan and they will see the Paramatma as form and Nara. And Prabhupada says also that devotees have Krishna with the flute in their heart. So as you told already, that Krishna is Paramatma is in dynamic states and static states. So Dhyani will see only the static states and the devotee sees as a dynamic.
Right. Yeah. Also, there may be two considerations. Devotees also may see him in his four-armed form, Narayan form. You see, there is a difference between Narayan and Paramatma also. Although Paramatma is four-armed, Narayan also is four-armed. But Paramatma, as I pointed out, is static. He's standing like a statue, right? But Narayan is active, right? But Krishna in Vrindavan, he is in his two-armed form. And that form will be revealed to those who have developed that specific loving relationship with him in the mellow of friendship, parental and conjugal. Right? Generally. So you see the difference. Like yogi sees the super soul in the heart. Then devotees, by rendering devotional service, goes to Vaikuntha through Shanta and Dasya. But through friendship, parental and conjugal, the devotees will be elevated to Vrindavan. Now, the opportunity to enter into Vrindavan is a very special prerogative. And that opportunity is available only or primarily when one is following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. By following Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one is able to enter into Vrindavan and become situated in a loving relationship with Krishna in friendship, parental and conjugal. So these are the special good fortune that we are actually receiving. Now take full advantage of it.
Another person is well. So other sampradayas, like Sri Sampradayas and Alexander, they go only to Vaikuntha.
Yeah. But if they follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then they can get an entry to Vrindavan. It happened, just like Venkat Bhatta. He was a Sri Vaishnava, but coming in contact with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became his devotee. Similarly, Prabhupada Saraswati, his brother. Gopal Bhatta was his nephew. They were Sri Vaishnavas, but they received Mahaprabhu's mercy, and they have access to Vrindavan. Yes, Kokil.
That it's only in Kali Yuga that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes.
and he opens the doors to Golok Vrindavan.
Yeah.
And in other ages, the devotees could only go up to Vaikuntha.
Yes, generally.
Temple.
But some rare souls can get some mercy of some resident of Vrindavan and can be elevated.
Okay.
Like for example, the sages of Naimisharanya, although in Treta Yuga, they actually got entry to in Krishna's consciousness. These are some rare good fortune, rare cases. But generally, yes, people would be elevated only to Vaikuntha.
So this is such an
But in
important
Kali Yuga,
time.
yeah, right. And that's why Kali Yuga is so special. Although in one hand, it's the most degraded age, but in this most degraded age, one actually has the facility to achieve the highest spiritual benefit. And in this respect, Prabhupada is actually giving an example. The why. Sometimes people ask, why? People in the age of Kali are so fallen, and they are having the benefit that even the residents of even the Satyuga people cannot get. And Prabhupada's answer to that was that just as the father is most concerned about the weakest and youngest child, and especially when he is suffering from a disease, from fever, then the father goes out of his way to pick up the child and stay by his bedside through the night. Similarly, our Supreme Father Krishna is bestowing his greatest compassion to us because we are most unqualified, most fallen. And that same point has been expressed in that verse, Potito pavano hetu tobo avatar moshamo potito prabhu na paibe ar. You have come to deliver the fallen souls. In this age, your business is to deliver the fallen souls. And you'll never get anyone more fallen than I am. So I am the most qualified recipient of your mercy. So in this age, we don't have to become exalted to receive Mahaprabhu's mercy. Rather, we have to become fallen to receive Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And the more fallen we are, greater is our claim.
But this is submersible.
Huh?
This submersiveness on the Bhakti Thakur wrote that.
Oh, this one? Haha Prabhu Nityanando Premanando Shukhi.
No, Narottam
Narottam Das.
Das. In
Is-
one way, it is his submersible, he's exalted Vaishnava.
Huh? Well, that is the mood that he is, like he is not speaking of himself, he is speaking of us. Yes.
Vishnu give wishes to Brahma to make tapasya, and that's why he give him knowledge how to make it, and wishes to get this knowledge about Lord. Why he don't make another Brahma the same Vaishnavas? Like with help of this knowledge and tapasya, he make him Vaishnava. Why he don't make the same with other? He may choose whom to make Vaishnava and whom not.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, at least I can say that I don't know about other Brahmans, but I know about this Brahma. And he is our Sampradaya Acharya. And he is a devotee. And he established our Sampradaya called Brahma Sampradaya. In this Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, accepted initiation. And we are fortunate to belong to this Sampradaya. And if I consider this question from a neutral point of view, then my answer will be, you see, Krishna will reciprocate according to the desire of the individual. Why somebody is a devotee and somebody is not? Because somebody wants to become a servant of Krishna, surrender to him, and render devotional service. Then Krishna makes him a devotee. And if somebody doesn't want to submit to Krishna, then Krishna will not reciprocate. Krishna will say, okay, have a peg of whiskey. Just one peg, no more. Right? And in this way they are just trying to travel in this material nature, sometimes going up, sometimes going down. Yes, Navadip.
Brahma's mode of devotion, is he in the mode of friendship or in the mode of love? Or what is the mellow of Brahma's devotion towards Lord Krishna?
You see, the mellows can change in that way. From Vaikuntha mood, one can be elevated to Vrindavan mood. Like for example, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the descriptions that we are getting is in Vaikuntha mood. Like Krishna and Brahma went to Vaikuntha after he saw Narayan in Vaikuntha. But in Brahma Samhita, we see that he is in Vrindavan. And then on top of everything, when Brahma came as Haridas Thakur, right, and participated in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, where will he naturally go? Won't he naturally go to Golok Navadvip and Golok Vrindavan in Radha Krishna's pastimes? And when you go into Radha Krishna's pastimes, what's your mood? The mood is either friendship, parental or conjugal.
Out of all these three, he is in which mood?
Out of all these three?
While he is say in Haridas Thakur's incarnation.
That part hasn't been revealed. Like Brahma has been identified as Haridas Thakur, but then in Krishna's pastimes, what is Haridas Thakur in Vrindavan? That aspect hasn't been revealed, at least to me. You have a question?
What do you mean when you said that if you do pious activities in your previous life, you'll get a good birth, like in a rich family? Is that only material benefits?
Yes.
Not, so like, how would you get a good birth in a spiritual family?
Just like by being born as your father's son and mother's son, they are leading you to Krishna. So they are actually creating that good fortune for you. Just because you are their son, you are becoming a devotee now. Now you want to take full advantage of it? Yes, you are taking full advantage of it. Thank you. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Gaur Premanande.